What's going on, Summoners? My name is Kangas, and today we're talking about XIN ZHAO's future rework. Even though we don't have an official release date, Riot has given us some juicy details about the rework, so hit that sub button and let's talk about them.
Just a short disclaimer before we get started, all of the changes that we're going to mention are subject to change. The good news is that XIN ZHAO is definitely getting a minor rework, so let's talk about some of the goals and tweaks that we do actually know about. It's no secret that XIN ZHAO isn't doing well in the meta. Not only is he a bit outdated, but he just doesn't provide enough utility to his team unless he gets a lot of gold. Someone like Udyr, who is totally dominating solo queue and pro play, is strong because he provides insane tankiness and also has a presence in a team fight. XIN ZHAO, meanwhile, either 1v5s or does absolutely nothing. With this in mind, the goals for XIN ZHAO's rework are to increase the satisfaction of his gameplay and also give him some more strength when played well. Riot specifically wants to highlight his unique mechanics of ranged gameplay. XIN ZHAO's W is a huge part of his kit, but players end up just running forward and auto-attacking their enemies with it. If everything goes well, XIN ZHAO should end up being a much more consistent pick in the jungle. Okay, so now that we talked about the goals of the rework, let's talk about the changes. XIN ZHAO's passive heals him based on how many stacks of determination he has, and the base value of his heal is going down a bit. However, it's interesting to note that the AP ratio is actually increasing by 15% all the way up to a 55% ratio ceiling. If you build just a little bit of AP, you'll get a pretty nice amount of bonus healing from your passive now. Moving on to his Q, it's getting nerfed at lower levels, but it's kinda evening out once you hit level 5. In total, he has 5 less physical damage at rank number 1, but once he hits rank number 5, he's only got 1 less damage. This small nerf will help balance Xin since the rest of his kit is getting a pretty huge buff. Alright, so now let's talk about XIN ZHAO's brand new W. Okay, it's not really brand new, but literally every single part of this ability is getting changed, so let's talk about it. First things first, his W is getting some quality of life and hitbox clarity changes, which is great for everyone. This skill is pretty hard to see right now, and I think that if XIN ZHAO was meta, we'd be complaining a lot about how weird his W hitbox is. But now onto the good stuff. XIN ZHAO's W thrust damage will be increased by up to 33% based on his crit chance. If you thought that was good, his W will no longer apply lifesteal at 33% effectiveness, bringing it all the way back to 100% lifesteal. Before we even talk about the rest of the changes, these two buffs alone are massive. The crit damage is nice, but getting 100% lifesteal on both parts of your W is huge for XIN ZHAO's kit. He already heals a crazy amount, and landing a 5-man W will literally heal as much as an Aatrox Q. So to counter some of these huge buffs, XIN ZHAO's W cast time no longer scales down with attack speed, giving players half a second to respond like usual. The mana cost went up by 15 mana, up to 60, and the W thrust range increased from 900 to 1000 range. The damage distribution will also be shifted, lowering the base damage along with lowering the total AD ratio by 5%, but adding a new 50% AP ratio. Starting to see a trend there. XIN ZHAO's W cooldown will also be decreased to 6 seconds instead of 8 at rank number 5. The final change is that W Thrust now challenges champions and monsters, providing vision for 3 seconds. Moving on to XIN ZHAO's E, this is a big one. The cast range will be increased from 650 to 1100 on challenged targets, and the cooldown will be lowered from 12 seconds to 11 seconds. The dash speed is also being lowered by 500. Last but not least, we have XIN ZHAO's ultimate. It now has a 110% AP ratio, and the duration is being increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. To compensate for this, the duration is no longer extended by blocking basic attacks and spells. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, what the hell is going on with XIN ZHAO? Well, lucky for you, we got some pretty good insight about what these changes might mean for him in the future. Back in the day, players actually got to play AP XIN ZHAO every now and then, mostly as a fun pick that's kind of annoying for the enemy team. But it seems like Riot is really trying to diversify League of Legends, so they're opening up some potential build paths for XIN ZHAO too. If we ignore all the added AP ratios, this rework adds a very powerful combo into XIN ZHAO's kit. If you land your W thrust, you'll be able to dash in with E up to 1,100 units away. This is seriously huge. To put that into perspective, Lux's E range is that same distance. This puts a lot more emphasis on your W, and I think it's a really good idea for Riot to approach XIN ZHAO as a spear-wielding champion who pokes his enemies before jumping in from a screen away. And then you throw in the AP ratios as well, and there's some potential really fun stuff you can do with this champ now.
And that wraps up everything that we know about XIN ZHAO's future rework. If you want to stay up to date on everything League related, feel free to sub to the channel and also turn on notifications so that you never miss out on an upload. That's it for the video though, so as always, best of luck on the Rift. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time.